Hey guys, today I'll be showing you guys how to import some assets, some Blender assets with the materials and stuff, and also replace certain assets in a template just to get you familiar with them, and then you can ask me harder questions along the way. First thing, we want to start off with a blank canvas. We want to have our desktop and quality preference to be maximum. It can be scalable, depends on your PC. Starter content, you can enable this or turn it off. I'm going to just turn it off, and also I'm going to turn off ray tracing just so that it runs a bit more smoother. And over here is our project location. I'm just going to find a sweet location to put this in. I'm going to put this in over here, I guess. And I'll also put in, actually I might actually put it in its own folder, which will be more organized. So new folder, I'll just say that's the project file. Okay, and then the project name will be starter demo. Oh, no spaces allowed, so underscores, and then we'll press create, and then give it some time and it'll do its thing. So just a quick overview of this. I'm sure you went over this last week, but over here is our viewport, and to look around we need to right click and hold WASD to move in and out, and if it's too slow you can use your middle mouse to go in and out like that. That adjusts the camera speed quite a lot, and you adjust it to be the correct speed. Over here is our toolbars up here. Our movement tools are over here. They use similar hotkeys to Maya, so it's QER for your movement tools. Over here is your outliner, so that's like, it's just an outliner, you can select things over here. The details are here, and similar to Blender, this is where all the information is stored, like the rotation, the transformation, stuff like that, the materials, regardless. The first thing we want to do here is actually get to our content drawer to allow us to import some stuff. After that, I want you guys to go to the contents, because that's where we're going to store our contents, and we're going to right click here to create a content, which will be a folder, and we want to make a folder for the models. We want to make a folder for the materials. There we go. We want to go into the models tab folder, and we want to right click here and import, let me see, FBX. So after that, there's two ways to import. We have over here, we have import, or you can right click and find it, which is over here. You can press import here, get the submarine FBX in. I'm going to change the uniform scale, if it's not already, to 100%, so it just scales uniformly 100% of the time. And we should get a error. Loads of these errors actually mean nothing, so and this is one of them. So you also won't see your thing, and you have your in the content browser you will have your little guy. It has a default Lambert 1 material onto it. You can just delete that. It's as we're importing our own materials. As you can see, they all just changed colors a little bit more gray to the default model kind of consistency. The Lambert was just giving it just the thing. It might just come with that. The next step we want to do is we want to go into our materials folder now, and we want to, well, there's this way to do it. You can just drag and drop your things in, and that should have done it. If we go to the component browser, as we can see, we have all 5 texture maps for our submarine. The next thing we want to do is to, in our contents browser, we want to go and add a new folder called blueprints. And in that blueprints folder, we want to add something called an actor. An actor is a blueprint class actor. There has a little description to it. A actor is an object that can be placed or spawned in the world. Basically, it's just the thing. It's going to be your submarine, basically. And we're going to add a actor class, and we're going to call it submarine. If you want to get into specifics, if you want to go into, if you're going to making a huge games, knowing some like naming conventions are really important. So in this case it won't be, because we're just importing a submarine, but if you want to know, it's _BP, just to know that it's a blueprint class. But for now I'm just gonna keep it as submarine. Now, if we double click into the blueprint class of the submarine, we get a new window. This new window, I need to maybe close out my face a little bit. Yes, I do. But over here, it's kind of similar to our original screen, but it's for our blueprints basically. It just keeps everything nice and clean basically. What we have here is the viewport in the middle, all of our details to the right, and then on the side we have like the contents that is inside, or the components in this case is in here, which is the model itself, and also what's going to be happen to it, like the events, the graphs, the functions, and if it's a variable or not, stuff like that. So from here, to get our submarine here, we need to open up the content browser over here, go into our models, and all we have to do here is just select the submarine and just drag and drop it underneath the default scene route, and this should get us the submarine if we zoom out. If you don't see it, you might be not on the viewport scene. There's also construction script and event scripts. As you can hear, we have the same navigations as before. It can get a little bit finicky though. You do have to get used to it, as it's a little bit different to Blender or Maya or anything software, like 3D software wise. You're using WASD, which is yeah, but as you can see, we have our submarine. Really cool. Now the next thing we want to do is make sure we compile and save everything. You can know that you need to compile it when there's a question mark. Every time you do stuff here, you need to compile it or it won't do anything. So just compile it, and then we'll just minimize from this screen to go back to over here, and we want to make a material for that guy now. So to make a material, we want to go over here and add a material. Name this submarine material or something, submarine mat. After that, we want to double click into our submarine mat, and we want to go and just align. This is a node-based system similar to BSDF, Blender Standard Surface thing, the normal Blender material, where we have to recreate our material in here. If you're struggling with this, make sure to maximize it. Just go over here, and we're just going to drag in, for example, base color. Gonna get our base color in, and what we want to do here is just drag it into the base color. The next one is open up the tab. Let's just drag all of these guys in, apart from the material itself. Just drag all of them in so that they're all inside, and do them one by one. So was this one looks like, I'm confused now actually. Maybe that's not the best idea. That is the metallicness, the top one. So I'm going to drag that into metallic. This one looks like definitely the normal map, so I'm going to go and drag that into the normal map. Maybe it's not. And then the next one is the roughness, and I actually missed out one, which is the ambient occlusion, which is really important because it tells the game what or the game engine what is the darkest areas or the hardest to reach areas are in the material. So that's the ambient occlusion, and we put that way at the bottom over here. As you can see, we have now recreated our submarine material how it should have looked like in Blender, roughly, I hope. Make sure you press apply and save, and then we are off to the next. Okay, once you're happy with that, then we just close out of this window, and we want to go back to our models, our blueprints, actor, submarine, and then we want to go to the viewport. And just so we can just to import our guys, we want to select all of these guys in underneath the default scene route, and we want to go in and find the materials tab, which should be, where is it? Am I missing something? Over here, materials, and then we want to go from the none element 0. We want to go to submarine mat, and that, if you unwrapped it correctly, that should give us a nice metallic golden yellow submarine, metallic submarine kind of feel with normal maps and everything applied. Looking snazzy, right? Just to give you the beginnings of how you code in Unreal, or create events and stuff, or anything like that, and showcase you why blueprints in Unreal is really kind of beginner or like artist friendly, because it's just really visual based. It's node based, so it's visual. You can kind of read what's going on. Basically, it's script, but visual based scripting. Anyway, we want to go to the event graph to start our scripting adventure. This is the page where we can add what the event, what our blueprint is going to do, basically. So what we want to do after that is we want to right click to add something. We want to add local rotation, and if you don't see that, you might want to check on context sensitivity. And for this one, we want to add local rotation for our motors, because I want to have a spinning motor. What we want to do here is add a value of maybe 2. A faster value will mean it'll go faster on the y-axis of the delta. And what we want to do here is this will only do it just one time. So I think what we need to do here is drag this one that it comes defaulted in on event tick, which means every tick rate we want this to activate. So we want to drag this here, and that should make our submarine motor 12 for the rest of the game, basically constantly. Remember to compile every time you are done though. And now to see the actual submarine in the scene, we'll just exit out of it and go back to our viewport. And what we need to do here is basically go to our content drawer, and this submarine class blueprint is all done, and we drag and drop, and let's just go in, guys. So right click and go, went a bit too deep, and there it is, guys. A bit too fast. Let me just slow down a little bit, and there it is in the floor. From here we can just go over here and push it up, and once we start playing the scene, this propeller should be constantly twirling. So if I play it, let's get to our scene properly, and the motor should be spinning around constantly, as you can see. Nice and smooth, really nice. But yeah, that's basically it on importing any characters or materials or things into the scene. You just have to import them in, make some blueprints for it, and just realign everything in the node system and just drag it in, and that's your asset in the game engine. In a second, I'll show you guys how to replace templates with your own assets as well. So let's start afresh here, guys. Go to the first person template, and I'm just gonna quickly make that in the same project file. I'll just call it demo change assets, and yes, that should be good enough. And I'll press create, and and let it do its thing like usual. Okay, once you're finally in, we want to import this asset pack that I found, that I got you to download at the beginning. I want you guys just to drag the FBX folder straight into contact, and we want to check on skeletal mesh. Sometimes it works without skeletal mesh, but we want these the guns here to be skeletal meshes. Sometimes it works without it, sometimes it doesn't work without it, so try it. In different templates it's different, so just try it out and see how it goes. I'm going to leave the import uniform scale to 1 this time, and I'm going to import all, and that should have done it. That has given me all the guns in its different forms in it, with the textures, the texture map that is also in there as well. So if I were to change the scene, we can walk up to this gun and shoot, and that's that's this template basically. And what we want to do here is change the gun to be the water guns, or your own assets. Of course, it will be a little bit different once you're trying to import your own characters and stuff, as you have to retarget animation, have to realign animation for certain actions. When you're at that point in your development, let me know and I can show you guys, as it is more hands-on. But today is just an overview. Most of this can be applied for most things basically, but more complex things, please come back to me and we can go over it at a slower pace and work it out together. But moving on, let's change the gun in this for this example. So what you want to do here is you want to go to the content drawers and go to blueprints. You want to go to the first person, and under blueprints we have blueprint weapon component. We want to double click onto that to get to the editor, and then where it says skeletal mesh asset, we want to change it from the default one to, well, the one that you imported basically. And we want to always press compile, because compile that just saves it. And now if I were to play it, this will look the same. However, when I pick it up, the gun is different, as you can see. We can change that for that default little gun thing as well, as there are multiple blueprints involved in this. There's one for the gun that you're holding and picking up, and the one that's floating on the floor. So now to change the other bit is we need to go to content drawers, and we want to go to the BP pickup rifle, which is the one that we pick up, and we want to go to the skeletal mesh and find it, the skeletal mesh, and pick the same one and compile that, and that should be good. But also, just an added thing, once we tested it, the barrel was looking really short, so what we can do there is we can go to that's the projectile, that is the controller. I think we want to go to this one, BP first person character, and if we go to the viewport we have some arms. And what we want to do here is probably move the arms a little bit forward, like so, and that should basically do it. Compile it and do it. Let's try. So as you can see, the same new gun, and if I were to do it, my gun, it is a little bit further out, and I can see it a little bit more, but as you can see, it probably needs to be sent out a little bit more. But as you can see, that is basically how you change the templates of the templates of the default projects. All projects are a little bit different, so if you want to change it or change some stuff, you might have to look into the code a little bit. But it's all different, and it's all self-explanatory kind of, where you kind of pick it out and see what you need to change, what you want to change, and kind of change it out one by one in this. We just basically one for one change it out basically. But I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial workshop, and I'll see you guys next time.